Shout out to my stars. Oh, bitch, I'm back. And, today what I'm wanting to do is explore the pathology of Khloe, Miss Khloe Codependent Kardashian, all right? And the reason I like to do that is because I got to thinking, especially in the past week with, all the things that have unfolded. Um, I was thinking, if we stripped Miss Codependent Kardashian of all of her fame and her money and her famous relationships and, her family name and everything that she's accumulated, who or what would she be, right? My theory is that Miss Khloe Codependent Kardashian's identity is completely tied into not only her high profile family, but it's also tied into her associates and most importantly the people that she's dating, or even how those relationships will end, because she does not have a really good track record for picking men, let's just face it. So she has no real identity of her own, and allegedly she's not even a Kardashian, and I'm gonna go ahead and break it down, so stay tuned.
What did you say, nigga? I'm spitting Crimson. Where my dogs at? Supernova, K1 and all that. DJ fam, can't forget bass stacks. We the best in the city. So face fact, the way I kill a beatbox makes white women say please stop. Cause I ain't with the sweet talk. I spit crack that he rocks me, and salty rappers don't get along.
Hey, it's your girl Seven Stars, and welcome back to the Girl Cave.
All right, I think we all know by now how much I love astrology, so I think I'll go ahead and incorporate a little bit of astrology into this conversation. Now, let's jump right into it. Cancers, right? That's what Khloe Codependent Kardashian is. And cancers tend to think that everybody is out to get them. They yearn for a really deep and everlasting love, but they usually end up with people that are not good for them. Now, cancers will use the actions of these unfit people that they choose to constantly complain and play victim. And playing the victim allows them to garner sympathy, pity, and most important, attention. Now, for the most part, most cancers are excellent caregivers, right? They're pretty good partners, great parents. They also have a willingness to nurture the ones around them with love, support, and attention. Now, this is all very true about bright-sided cancers, okay? But we are talking about Khloe Codependent Kardashian, and it seems like she purposely attracts men into her life that will abuse her so that she can feed off of their emotional turmoil, depression, and negative behavior. Okay, she only allows men to treat her this way. That's another thing I've noticed, because I've seen her on that show go off on her mother, and I can't even think of how many times she's been like completely and utterly disrespectful to her mother. And she goes off on women too. But the thing is, oh, and also most recently, this Jordan situation just shows how much of a mean girl she can be, right? How much of a bully she can be. So this whole act that she can't defend herself is BS, and I'm calling it out, because it seems like when it comes to men, she's able to display way more compassion and patience for them. Okay, she, like I said, she likes to play the eternal victim when it comes to men, and it's all a little act. She goes off on women, but on the flip side, she likes to manifest these toxic relationships into her life with men that she thinks she can fix. We've seen her do it with Lamar Odom, her brother Rob Kardashian. She does it with this Tristan Thompson guy. And the difference between most cancers and Khloe Codependent Kardashian is that Khloe is actually able to monetize off of these interactions. So she's getting paid, and she's also garnering a lot of sympathy and pity and attention, which is what she truly craves. And just off the top of my head, I can give you other examples of like other cancers who, do this type of stuff. Like take 50 Cent, for example. He's another cancer. He was shot 5 times and continuously bragged about it in the beginning of his career. Okay. You have Charlemagne the God. He's another Cancer. He went on a whole mental health tour after allegations came out that he was involved in the drugging and assault of a girl who was a teenager at the time. You have, let's see, Selena Gomez, another Cancer. She runs back and forth to rehab, and it always makes like headline news. And she's had like multiple mental breakdowns. Kevin Hart got caught cheating on his pregnant wife and flipped that into an entire situation of like an extortion scandal, right? Garnering sympathy, right? Let me think. Ariana Grande, she's another Cancer, and she only manifests like toxic relationships. So you think about like Mac Miller, her ex, or even, you know, the guy she was just engaged to, and he was talking about how he was suicidal. So she gets with people who she seems to think she can fix too. But I just wanted to give those examples because, you know, most Cancers like that, they don't share their testimonies or their hardships or struggles just to be like a beacon of light for others. No, instead, they use it to solidify their role as the victim. Not only do they want you to know what happened to them, they want you to know that others went out of their way to hurt them. But anyway, let's go back to Miss Khloe, codependent Kardashian. Um, Another thing I noticed about her is not only does she play the codependent victim, but it looks like she can also switch to being a straight up narcissist. Okay, so she can go back and forth. Now, she never takes responsibility for her own self inflicted pain. Okay, and she most recently tried to accuse the Jordan Woods girl of breaking up her family. Now, the reality is Khloe chose yet another man that can publicly aid her in her eternal victim narrative. Okay, so she's trying to push it off onto this young girl, but the reality is these are the type of men she chooses, and she actually likes to choose them. Matter of fact, let's talk more about her victim narrative. Khloe recently created a show called Revenge Body, aimed to empower other victims of like fat shaming, you know, low self-esteem, all of that stuff. And this obviously stems from her own personal insecurities of being quote unquote the ugly Kardashian in a high profile family. Okay, now, like most of Khloe's victim narrative, she was able to get a tangible and emotional payout from this victim scenario. Because remember, she loves attention, whether it be positive or negative. Now, we watched as she married ex-NBA player Lamar Odom months into meeting one another. And the relationship had an expiration date from the start, right? But Khloe was actually able to change the narrative of his cheating scandal into her being his silent and long-suffering wife while he was out drug binging and, you know, screwing whores. Okay, now even the situation with Lamar's overdose scare was a perfect opportunity for her to show us how great of a wife she really is. Now, you can call me cynical, okay, but I just have the sneaky suspicion that, you know, that had very little to do with Lamar Odom or his well-being. Okay, and for the most part, I think it had a lot to do with the fact that that was another way for her to seek the attention that she ever so craves. Now, after having a better understanding of the pathology of Khloe, codependent Kardashian, now you can understand why keeping Tristan around is perfect for her, right? Okay, not just publicly, but emotionally, because it seems like he gives her the chaotic and emotional turmoil that she's yearning for. And in return, she can utilize all of his inappropriate indiscretions to obtain support, sympathy, and again, attention. And this is precisely why the Girl Cave came out in support of Jordan Woods right away, because it doesn't matter if she was innocent or guilty. Listen to what I'm telling you. We refuse to allow you, Khloe, codependent Kardashian, to tear down another woman because of the poor decisions that you continue to make in men. Okay? I think it's crazy you got access to all those resources. Okay, and you continue to be the saddest creature on earth because it works for you. You don't want to get therapy and you don't want to change, and we see you. And can we talk about another thing that's absolutely tripping me out? I mean, Khloe, you got on your Twitter and you asked Jordan why was she lying, but Miss Khloe, codependent Kardashian, why are you lying? Why have you been lying for years? You lie about everything. You've lied about what you've had done to your body. You lie about stealing from black independent designers. And you are currently lying about the paternity of your father, allegedly. Okay? Why did you opt out of taking the DNA test on your show when presented the opportunity to do so? And why won't you acknowledge Alex Roldan as your father? You two practically look like twins in the face. Okay. And when you're in all of those little family photos, you stick out like a sore thumb, because the reality is the rest of that family is a mixed Armenian, dark haired, and practically short family. And you look nothing like them. And you refuse to acknowledge the fact that you're not even a Kardashian. It's like you're living in a fairy tale or a fake world that you've created. Okay. And I think this also aids in the fact that, you do have a lot of personal insecurities. Even as a grown woman, you straight up have identity issues, I think. And I truly believe that you low-key resent Kris Jenner because of this, because I can tell in the way that you interact with her sometimes that you really just don't like that lady. And as of late, she's started to check you on it. But there's definitely some deep-seated issues there. So, in closing, I really have no words of encouragement for Miss Khloe, codependent Kardashian, and I do understand why she is the way that she is, and I do accept it. Now, normally I would encourage people to, change whatever it is about themselves if they're not comfortable with themselves, but she's already had tens of thousands of dollars in surgery, okay? She already has her baby, her little mixed baby that she's always dreamed of having. So she's got that. She has fame, fortune, status. And these are all things that can't seem to fulfill her. All right. Even the men she chooses, they don't fulfill her. So just keep in mind that it doesn't matter what you have. I mean, there's a lot of people out here with far less than what she currently has that are way better off than her. And that lets me know that, it doesn't matter what you can accumulate in this lifetime. If you play dirty, you will never win, in the words of Nene Leakes. And also, if there is a big gaping hole where your soul should be, you will inevitably always be somebody's slave. And in her case, she's going to always be the eternal victim, okay? Or maybe an eternal slave. So that's it. I think I've done enough damage today, and I'm going to go back to my cave now. All right, so there it is. I want you to be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Help the channel grow, and hit me up in the comment section below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Either way, I want to hear about it. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.